many ideas and possibilities that have been suggested today. That is why I want to invite Vejay Kumar, who is the Vice President of Manufacturing and Specialty Memory at Smart Modular Technologies, to do the wrap up. I don't think we will have time for questions because we are running out of time. But Vijay is very suitable to do this wrap up because he has experience working in Malaysia as well as in Brazil. And currently he's also responsible for global operations in Penang as well as I know in the US. So he is a suitable person to see from what we have heard from the 8 speakers today, what sort of possibilities we have and where are the possibilities of collaboration for further discussion. Can I invite Vijay to do the needful and give us some sharing and see where we are in terms of opportunities. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you, Andrew. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. Ambassador Ari Quintela, members of the embassy, members of the Ministry of Brazil, and members of Ministry of Malaysia, panelists, and fellow attendees today. First of all, good evening and bon night to the Brasileiro. There's few Brazil language that I still remember that I don't think I can speak anymore. Been years. Anyway, I've been asked to share my experience. Not so much on the collaboration like what Andrew said, but also what's the advantages that we have seen in Brazil in my 3 years of deployment in Brazil, right? And I was the head of the operations for Smart Modular Technology. As I arrived there, Rogerio is the general manager as well as head of sales. So we both collaborated extremely well. In fact, before I got there, Rogerio managed to do all the background jobs that make my life much more easy, actually. So that's how far we go back. Now, just to give a testimony, right? Started with just a small number of like 70 people operations, right? And keep in mind that to Smart Modular, this is the first ever site that has back-end assembly and test for packaging, right? None of the sites have that, right? So we decided to start something from scratch. And and even in Brazil back then, right, we were the first ever memory packaging company. So to start something like that, and in 13 weeks we were up in production in just 13 weeks. Right? That's how well the team has done. So I'm just going to share with you how some of those things that have been fruitful for us, where I believe that the collaboration could help, right? And in fact, to even go further, Brazil eventually became 60%, a small operation became 60% of the total company in terms of contribution to the top line, bottom line. That's how big Brazil has become for Smart Modular Technology. Right? So let me start with just talking about the key point, right? I think the most, or in my opinion, the most important thing that helped us that time was the people. I think the people, the whole pack, like what I mentioned, within the company, we don't have any expertise, right? So we hired literally anybody with semiconductor industry back then. And one of the things that the government, Brazil government, have made it easier also in terms of talent acquisition or even bringing in some technology transfer. They allowed us to bring in some of the Korean consultant, right? That we brought in, not as a management, but people who became consultant to engineering and process development and all those things that helped us to train. So Brazil was run completely with 100% local talents, right? And from engineering, from management to everything, right? So that has helped us truly, in over time, where the training took place. And we send our people out to all the equipment vendors as well. And in packaging, truly, it's not labor intensive. So if you find like we grew from 70 people to 150 people, that's not reflect, right, what the growth is. But in actual, because of it's all very much equipment intensive, right? So the other thing that all the training with the equipment vendors have also helped us to get the know-how. Now, going further with the people, one of the things that I've saw completely different and very much to Malaysian, being a Malaysian, is the culture of people wanting to be in manufacturing, getting their hands dirty, right? That's what we saw in people. So it was like as if I'm managing a Malaysian team. That's how I felt, because people were all hardworking. They come in and by the way, there's one factor I would say even different from us. We kept the shift as fixed morning and night. I was to the request of the employees, because those operators who were in the morning shift would go and study at night. In fact, 70% of the operators were studying engineering at night. And those who are at night would request to be staged completely on night throughout, and they would go for afternoon class before coming into work, right? That's how hardworking people were. People took education and technical capability as something very key to them, right? So that has helped us to develop the team from scratch to really competent, like what I said, Brazil become a better one, right? So I'll go quick, Andrew, I know you're waiting. So, and of course, the education, so I even had the liberty of attending classes, sitting with some of the employees that we had. Someone enjoying the syllabus covered were not just theoretical, but very much reference to what we do in companies. So, and not to mention earlier, we heard presentations about how institutions have come for, worked with us, right, together as a collaboration to develop some of the capabilities that we have. In fact, Smart even donated some of the equipments that we had to some of the institutions to get the training in place, right? So that has helped us a lot. So people factor and education factor became very good. And the other factor that I would say, infrastructure, right? Mostly the industrial. In fact, initially we started at Sao Paulo. We moved to a place that no one probably would have heard other than people from Brazil, which is Atibaia, right? It's a small city. Even I took a year before deciding moving there, because I was traveling an hour and a half every single day from Sao Paulo. That's how small the place was. It's like a two-row, right? And the condominium started, but then the infrastructure that came into play, right, to make sure the industry, we will have the mayor coming in, councillor coming in, everybody to look at the needs of the industry. So there was so much emphasis. We were about 40 minutes from Campinas, probably 40 minutes from Jinjai, if I still get that right, Georgia, I'm not sure. But, so, and kind of like this is a newly developed, but today, I believe Atibaia have grown to be a big industrial city, I believe, right? I've not been there for the last 10 years, so I may not say that, right? So, but I do believe the infrastructure have been a key. Road systems to labor supply, and everything was much more easier comparably to the big cities that they had, right? And I think government support, I don't elaborate too much about it, because I think the paddies really helped. As I mentioned, the government officials keep visiting to making sure that we grew from one building to taking up almost 80% of the whole industrial area, all the buildings. Roger took all the buildings, as many buildings as possible, actually, right, eventually. And again, the final one would be, again, I will commend the leadership, right? I mean, in 100% leadership, complete. And Brazil is the only site for us where it's an independent entity, which means they do their own sales, right? They do their own development of product, and they manufacture on their own. And it's not just packaging. We manufacture from packaging, from back-end assembly test, and build them into module and ship it to as a complete memory module and flash and to the customers, right? I mean, you saw the list of products that Roger represented just now. So to do all of this, the expertise is so important, but then having 100% local management with completely competent in terms of every aspect of it, it's something that Brazil always said. So my testimony to Brazil was an amazing journey for us, and they became such a significant component to Smart Modular, right? So with that, thank you so much, and obrigado.
Thank you, Vijay. Yeah, I think the first eight panelists talked a lot about the things they're working on, and what I saw is that there are a lot of similarities, but what you touched on was the most important of all, the work ethic, the pro business government, and then the people, their eagerness to learn and to get into manufacturing. That is actually what makes the final decision whether or not to collaborate and to work together. I think that's the most important. Thank you for your sharing, Vijay.